An anti-hero is not just a dark protagonist. A true anti-hero operates by their own moral code, one that the audience can follow even when the methods are wrong. They make you root for someone you shouldn't. These are the 10 greatest anime anti-heroes, protagonists and major characters who operate in moral gray zones with enough conviction that you understand them completely, even when you can't agree. Number 1 is the character who made an entire generation question what they would do in his position. And most people, honestly, couldn't be sure they'd choose differently. These are characters you root for despite everything. Or sometimes because of everything. Let's go. The most powerful creature in the Hellsing universe, and he works for humans by choice, not by obligation. Alucard is a vampire who fights other monsters on behalf of the British Crown. He takes sadistic pleasure in combat. He operates with contempt for most of what he meets. And yet, he has a code, one that most humans would struggle to articulate. His treatment of Sarah's Victoria, his relationship with Integra, his final arc, all reveal someone with a genuine moral architecture, even if it looks like pure chaos from the outside. The most morally compromised protagonist on this list, and one of the most compelling. Revy grew up in New York's worst streets and became a mercenary by pure survival. She kills freely, holds most of the world in contempt, and is completely honest about what she is. What makes her an anti-hero rather than simply a villain is her relationship with Rock, a former salaryman who retained his humanity despite everything. Revy is the person you become when the world refuses to give you any other option. A serial killer who targets state alchemists, and his reasons are completely legitimate. The state alchemists participated in the genocide of Scar's people, the Ishvalans. Scar lost his entire family. He turned his brother's alchemy research, inscribed on his arm, into a weapon of assassination. Brotherhood could have made Scar a villain. Instead, it slowly reveals his backstory, gives him genuine camaraderie with the protagonists, and allows him to eventually redirect his violence toward its proper target. His arc is one of the best written redemptions in anime. The protagonist of the most morally complex dark fantasy in anime. Guts fights apostles, demons serving the god hand, with a massive sword, a mechanical arm, and a trauma so severe it has partially broken his mind. He protects those he loves. He destroys everything in his path. The question Berserk asks about Guts is whether surviving the eclipse, whether surviving Griffith, is heroism or simply endurance. The answer, over hundreds of chapters, is both. And neither is clean. The state alchemist who wants to become Führer, not for power, but to dismantle the system from the top. Mustang participates in the Ishvalan genocide. He carries that guilt. He becomes the flame alchemist in service of a government he plans to eventually overturn. His methods, working within corruption, make him complicit in that corruption. His confrontation with envy is the moment when his anti-hero status becomes most explicit. He chooses revenge over duty, and has to be stopped. Mustang is what an anti-hero looks like in a morally complex world. The most strategically brilliant anti-hero in anime. Lelouch wants to bring down the Britannian Empire to avenge his mother and build a world for his blind, disabled sister. He uses a power called Geass to control people, build armies, and execute plans that cost innocent lives. He is not a good person by conventional metrics. He is also completely right about the system he's fighting. The Zero Requiem, his final plan, requires becoming the world's greatest villain so that his death can become the symbol of peace. That is anti-hero writing at its ceiling. Spent years as the perceived villain. Was, all along, the most selfless character in the series. Itachi murdered his clan to prevent a coup that would have cost more lives. He accepted the role of traitor, accepting that Sasuke would hate him, that the village would condemn him, that history would remember him as a monster, because it was the only way to prevent a larger disaster. The moment of his true reveal is one of the most complete anti-hero recontextualizations in anime. He was never a villain. He was just the person willing to be one so others wouldn't have to be. Born into a family of assassins, trained since birth to kill without hesitation, and somehow, the most emotionally honest character in the series. Killua kills. He kills efficiently, without sentiment, when necessary. But his entire arc in HXH is about whether the person his family made him is the person he wants to be. His relationship with Gon, and eventually his decision to leave to save his sister, is one of the most moving character journeys in anime. Killua is proof that an anti-hero's most important arc isn't the violence. It's the choice. Started as a mass murderer. Became the most compelling character in the franchise. Vegeta arrived on Earth to destroy it. He is responsible for enormous harm. And over years of being in proximity to Goku and his family, unwillingly, then grudgingly, then genuinely, he becomes something different. But Vegeta's anti-hero arc is unique because it never erases who he was. He acknowledges his past without pretending to have been redeemed from it. He fights for what's right now without claiming that makes him good. The depth of Vegeta's arc is why he is consistently considered more interesting than Goku. Number 1. The definitive anime anti-hero. Light Yagami finds a notebook that kills anyone whose name is written in it. He decides to use it to create a better world. He genuinely believes he is justice. The reason Light is the greatest anti-hero in anime is not just the complexity of his moral position, it's how the show implicates the audience. In early Death Note, most viewers root for Light. The criminals he kills are bad people. His plan, described abstractly, sounds defensible. And then the show slowly reveals what this actually looks like: surveillance, paranoia, the murder of people who get too close to the truth, an escalating willingness to sacrifice anything that gets in the way of the ideal. Light Yagami is the most honest portrait of how good intentions become atrocity. And the moment the apple falls is the moment you realize you were inside the story the whole time. 10 anti-heroes. Drop in the comments which one you'd actually defend, and which one you secretly root for even though you know you shouldn't. Subscribe for more every week. See you next time.